This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, I love that it gave me the bounce back. Hey y'all, as you can see, this is not Tanya, the lovely Britt from PC Rewind. And also, if you are on Twitter on Thursdays, really fun Twitter spaces about speculation is joining today. Hey Britt,
Hey, how are you?
I am doing, it's Sunday and we're shifting. If you have not already, please like, subscribe, leave us comments. It's going to be a really fun conversation because Britt and I like a whole lot of different things. So I'm interested and excited to get into the conversation with you, and get your fresh perspective on stuff.
Thank you.
How was your week?
Let me tell you, weather-wise, it's been crazy here. I live in Chicago. It has been 30 something degrees, and then 2 days later, it's 60 something degrees. Then the next day it snowed, and now today it's almost 60. And in a few days it's gonna be close to 70. So climate change, everybody.
This is my panic face. Like, what? That's terrifying.
I don't know how to dress. Sometimes I'm wearing a long, big, puffy coat. Some days I'm wearing a jean jacket.
It's also like this is the weirdo in me. I'm thinking about the things like the environment things that like depend on it getting cold and then like kind of depend on the seasons. Like if you live somewhere that has seasons, the environment is used to that. And so we out here just like, nope, we're not gonna have seasons. We're cool on that. Nature gotta be like, what y'all doing?
That groundhog is like, I told you.
Well, it's been raining a lot in California. I moved out to California um in 2015 and we were in the like dead like of a drought. So it was like dystopian because I'd be like walking somewhere that you be like outside because like it's California, you're walking outside and you'd walk past a fountain, but there'd be no like water running, just like dry fountains everywhere, or like just different things that like told you that it was a drought. And I was like, did I move out here and we got no water? So now it's interesting that it's raining all the time.
I thought it, oh yeah, I was gonna say it never rains in Southern California, but
That's right.
never mind.
That's right. My sister lived, my brother-in-law's in the military, and so they had moved out to San Diego. And I was like maybe 9 or 10 or something the first time I came out to visit. And it started raining. It was like very drizzly, but it rained. And I was like, what is this? It may be cold on the East Coast, but on the other side of town, it's not supposed to rain here. So shout out to Tony for our expectations.
They're from Oakland too, right?
Yeah, they are.
Ah,
I got a chance to see them play at this club called Yoshi's in Oakland. It was like I was like, oh no, I live here now. This is like official, and I'm very very grown. It was like a whole lounge situation. I saw them. I seen Mint Condition. I need to get back into my lounge game because even before I was lounge age, I was there. So now I'm lounge age. I need to get back.
I agree. I encourage you to go back to your lounge mode.
Get that lounge era since we're all using that.
Hmm.
Okay, let's get into GH because like we got a lot to talk about this week. I wouldn't say I was swept, but I would say, it's a little dusty still, but they cleaned up a little bit. Uh, Performer of the week. I want to know who you think. I felt like there was not a whole lot of over the top performances, but the thing I love about GH, to be honest, like as much as we get on here and we slam the show, because I will and we will, I think our actors are like top notch. And so like even on a week where nothing like over the top happens, you have like really, really solid performances. So I thought the scene between Laura Wright and Eden McCoy, like as Jocelyn Carly, was top tier. I loved everything Jane Elliott was doing as Tracy. What a queen. Um, and I really enjoyed Cyrus. Who does? I mean, come on, Jeff Kober as Cyrus. I know that he's like a villain and like, but he's so earnest, and that balance that he gives us is so masterful and skillful. He could do no wrong to me. I love him. What about you? Who were you? Whose performances were a highlight for you?
Actually, everybody you named, I loved. But out of them, my favorite was Jane Elliott. Um, I thought she was just so um, down down to earth is not the word, but I guess three-dimensional, because the way Tracy is usually written, GH Tracy, not you, but GH Tracy is written as uh, a bitch, like a rich bitch,
Yes.
essentially. And that she's always having something snappy to say. She's always dissing somebody, particularly her daughters-in-laws, um,
Which
but
we
other
love.
members of her family. Yes. Lucy or somebody along those lines that she doesn't like. But to see her vulnerable with her granddaughter, to herself when she went to go give, I call him Jeremy because that's what she called him at first, but Gregory, going to the Invader to ask him out essentially to the wedding to be her plus one. And then, her rejection, or her feeling the rejection because he asked Alexis first. Her showing her loneliness, missing Luke. Um, it's it's just so appealing to me. It's so beautiful. I feel that she does like a good job of giving dimensions to Tracy. Sometimes they give her just like a lot of harshness and a lot of like being mean, and she really gives life to those pages and makes Tracy more than what sometimes they give her.
Mhm.
And I also think she has great chemistry with everybody she works with, even
Absolutely.
when she's being awful. Um, Especially with Amanda Setting, they're great as granddaughter and grandmother. They really give like life to that relationship that I didn't see before or wasn't given before Amanda got into the role. So I
Mhm.
think she's my performer of the week. She did really
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
especially when we get into what we're not feeling. I talk about this triangle, but yeah, she did a really great job.
Yeah, I think that you are so right. I love the Tracy and Brooklyn relationship, but I love the Tracy Lois Brooklyn dynamic. It's like the perfect casting. It's the perfect banter. They are so like in the pocket with their characters that no matter what's written, they're gonna have a good time. And I think that that is not seen enough on this show. Um, because it's really hard, and we see how GH is so storyline driven and not character driven enough. Save us, Liz and Pat. We're hoping when you come in, and we're going to see a little shift in that. But yeah, I totally agree. Jane Elliott, what a treasure! What vulnerability and nuance, and I mean, please stay forever, Jane. Don't leave us again. Don't go.
Agreed. Agreed.
Um, So we switched it up. We actually do it a little bit more like Tara does in Port Misery. And so we're gonna go story by story um, and give our kind of takes with that. Some will be longer because I cared more about some stories, and some are just like, yeah, that happened. So let's start. We kind of alluded to this, but Jocelyn is trying to find Dex. Carly and Josh have it out over Sunny. And Josh says that she didn't choose Sunny and didn't want his kind of love. She can't tell Trina everything because she still understands mob code. And she recruits Spinelli to help her find Dex. Um, how are you feeling about that story? What are you thinking about it?
Okay, so first of all, Team Jocelyn. Um, everything she said, everything she said against Sunny, I was like, yes, yes, Queen. because I'm not a Sonny fan. If you guys listen to my spaces or seen any of I think I've been on here like 2 other times. I'm not a Sonny fan.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime somebody's like, fuck Sonny, I'm like, yay. Excuse my language, everybody. But she was like, maybe y'all like to give him like trust his word, but I certainly don't. And I was like, agreed. And I also loved her persistence. It's actually okay. So full disclosure, and Tracy knows this, I'm not a Carly fan. So also Carly being like, I've known Sonny forever. Da 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 da. I was just like, yeah, we know, girl. Of course, you're going to excuse the inexcusable things he does because you've known him since I was 12 and I'm almost 40. So I'm like, okay.
Damn.
But fine. But I was just like Team Jocelyn. I agree with her. We don't know where Dex is. I believe he's still alive because they're not going to have Sonny like kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So I know like as an audience member, but it's also like, I totally get where she's coming from. I would try to find my boyfriend too, especially she's like, what, 20, 21?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would be like, where's my boyfriend? I'm going to find him. And if he doesn't come home with me, we'll go live somewhere else. I'd be all in there. I would be like Carly or Mom, forget this. I also liked it because, ironically, she's acting just like Carly would.
Oh,
I really like that.
Bring it up.
Like, if this was Carly back in the day and this was Jason, she definitely would be like, nah, I'm finding Jason. We're coming back home. He's the only I love him. He's the only person I trust. I'm getting my man. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like that, despite like, not being a Carly fan, but I liked the synergy of them like being the same. And I also kind of like Carly being like, I'm still sticking with Sonny, but I feel you. I get what you're saying. I think you should let this go, but if you're going to go find him, I know that you will do that. Mm-hmm. So I loved those scenes with her and Laura, Eden and Laura Wright. It was really great. So yeah. I like that. Also, forget Sonny.
I mean, that's a area of agreement for us. Part of what I love about you, Britt, when we do any of the spaces or when we talk about the show in general, is that you are a person who could like an actor or actress and not like a character. So like you hate Carly, which I love that you hate Carly because you're like a Robin fan and it's like it brings all this history. But you also like, it's not like hate towards Laura Wright. It's like, oh no, she did this good job. And like, so that's, I think, one of the reasons that I have so much fun talking to you about the show and the characters, because it's not like some kind of personal, like, I don't like this person, so I don't like this character kind of thing. And what you brought up is also what I really liked about the story and why I always talk about like what the legacy and the lineage of a character is and how we have to keep them rooted. Because you could like look at that scene on the surface and be like, this is a good scene. But if you look at it at the history of it, it's a great scene. Because you have Joss who is 20. So whether she's right or wrong, this is exactly what a 20-year-old would do. And we have the history of Carly, and it's like, of course she's gonna ride with Sonny. And she also understands the business. They both were right and they both were wrong. Like everybody knew that once Dex got caught, he wasn't gonna be able to stay. But Josh still was like, after everything Dex has done for you, how dare you send my man away? And Carly is like relief. And Ava was a little bit of that too. Like, oh, he's alive? Well, girl, that's the best we could ask for. And so I just really felt like how rooted it is in history was like so good. I liked Joss and Trina scenes. I'm a Tross fan. My Trina and Joss forever. I loved the give and take of their scene together, where they both were mourning something different. And that Joss, like I said, still, no matter how mad she is at Sonny, understands the mob code and understands she can't tell Trina everything because that will put her best friend in danger. Um, and then like bringing Spinelli in, so good. Like to remember, oh yeah, I have this resource, and we've seen Tross work with Spinelli before, and so this is just like another moment in which Jocelyn's like, yeah, I'm a Jax, and yeah, I don't mess with Sonny, but I'm gonna use my mob resources to find my man, my man, my man, my man.
I love it. I like the Tross scenes too. They were really good. I love their friend chemistry always.
Oh, so good. I felt like um Joss and Trina bring out performances with each other that they don't necessarily have with other people. And it's a
Yeah.
vulnerability and like it just reminds me of my bestie, like
Oh,
that this is who I can talk to, this is my person. And I loved when Joss was like, how do you know? And she was like, or when Trina was like, how do you know that I'm gonna get over this? And Joss like started being like, it's because you're you, like you're strong, like the you're you carried so much weight. And then it was also like, and because I said so, because I'm like your bossy friend, and like I'm not gonna let anybody talk down on you, even you, kind of thing. And I really enjoyed
yeah.
that piece for them.
Yeah. They were really sweet together. And I'm just sad because they're having a sad girl spring. Like,
Right.
they're both depressed.
My baby girls, they never get to be happy. They've had so much
Never.
loss. They've really had so much loss. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Trina and grieving. So we had a scene with her and Curtis, and he was like really there for her and like affirmed her feelings. And then we had obviously the trust scenes. Um, and one of the things I really liked about or like that she said was that she was like she sees Spencer going into the water. She says that to Joss. And it was just like, yeah, let's talk about this. It wasn't just that she lost her boyfriend. It was that it was like very, very traumatic. And I feel
Yeah.
like something they do to this like young set of adults is like they don't ground in the trauma that they had. Like sometimes they'll have a callback to it, but they don't allow it to really impact the growth of the characters. And so I
Mhm.
appreciated a little bit of that. I have some critiques of the story, but I want to hear just like your thoughts before we get into that.
Well, if people don't know, I took a break from GH. So I came back in August 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So I had missed the other trauma, which was like Oscar dying, Taggart being fake dead, Dad being blown up or
Oh
injured
God.
in a bomb. I missed all that stuff. So when I came back, it was like the Spencer stalking and all of that stuff. But yes, when you go back to it, they have gone through a lot of stuff. And it's kind of brushed aside, or like there's mourning, but it's a little like tiny bit. And then it's kind of like they're back thrown into whatever their parents are going through or whatever their family's going through with Jocelyn. And then with Trina, it's like her family, Curtis's trauma and stuff like that. So I think Trina's gone through like a lot. It's crazy in a short amount of time. And it's it's a lot. And then it's just like, okay, so confessions. Curtis, I was not like, I was like, why is she talking to Curtis and why isn't she talking to Taggart? I'm always like that. So I was kind of like, this would have been nice if she had a moment with the dad that raised her.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was still nice that she was able to talk to somebody a little bit more about her trauma and stuff. I know she talked to Ava, I believe, last week.
Yes.
And yeah, and then a little bit with Jocelyn, but I'm glad she's getting to talk it out. Now with Curtis, I was a little like when he said like, well, just don't go to school. I felt like he should have like been like, I think it's okay not to go to school for right now, but maybe we can table it for later, see how you feel like after this semester and everything, instead of being like, just don't go to school. That was a little weird. But I still think it was good that she's able to talk to. I want him or Portia, especially since Portia is like, isn't she the chief of staff? Like,
yeah,
suggest a therapist. Kevin is right there. Kevin can do something besides adopt Ace. But he could talk to her, or she could talk to him about her trauma and about what she's going through, and then it'll be nice because it'll be a scene with Kevin, somebody who is close to Spencer,
right,
and kind of have that sort of connection there. So I think they're doing a good job of giving Trina perspective, but they can always do better because this is GH. And
right.
I still want a Taggart scene. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I think that, like, for me, I personally harp on Taggart for the same reason I was talking about with Carly and Joss, which is like, what is the history and the lineage of these characters? I talked about this a little bit in your space, but I feel like part of what I don't like that they do with Trina is they erase parts of her past. So I know that we all didn't like Rory, whatever. Like, Rory was clearly like, that relationship was clearly like a stepping stone for Sprina. In the same way that her grief over him could be a stepping stone for her to talk about how, because she didn't hate Rory, she just didn't love him. It wasn't like he had done something wrong to her. She was breaking up with him because she was like, he's a nice guy, but I love Spencer. And
Right.
so she had grief over him. It's not grief like I lost somebody who I love, but it's definitely grief like I lost a friend. And so even like calling back to that history and being like, this isn't the same. I thought I had a hard time when Rory passed. That's nothing as compared to Spencer. Even like saying like she has some guilt over that. Like, let's get her feeling some emotions. To your point, let's get her in therapy. And then to have like the juxtapose of like her saying to Jocelyn she doesn't know when things are gonna get back normal, and then Curtis not like, you sometimes need that structure to know when things are getting normal. Like, okay, I'm gonna be off now, but like I'm gonna go back to school in the fall. And I might still have a problem, or I might still have like a hard time because this is gonna take a long time to get over, and maybe I'll never get over it. But this is the time I have to like get myself to, not about healing myself to a point where I can like go back out and do the things. So
Yeah.
that was like a thing for me. Somebody in our comments on Instagram said, and I didn't realize this because I was like, I want her to get the art book back. Do you remember the art book from the Springer breakup at Spring Ridge when it was still Sydney?
Yes.
Somebody says she got that back. I didn't realize that she did. I was hoping it would be a better, would have been a better thing. But I would just like love to see her going through that with Laura and like talking about that, like actually mourning with people that Spencer knew. Because it's actually weird that it just like she didn't go to Windermere. Like, it's weird that somebody died so young and so tragically, and people are kind of like, yeah, it's like messed up. What else y'all doing? Like,
Right.
it just didn't sit right with me. So hopefully we see a little bit more of Trina. We see a little bit more her getting grounded with family. We know that Rael wants to come back as Taggart. Um, that family lineage, even her, she's not even acknowledging him. It's not even like he's not on screen. It's that he doesn't exist in her world.
Right.
We haven't heard her say, my dad reached out to me. My aunt Gia reached out to me. Nicholas's dad is in jail. Or Spencer's dad is in jail. Like, that means something. Like, these things shouldn't happen in a vacuum, and all of these things like have impact around like Trina and the Taggarts, and we're not seeing it.
Agreed. Yeah.
So do better, Liz and Pat. We're rooting for you. Sam and Danny. So Danny is having all these issues. Um, he is, an angsty teen. We see Sam getting some advice from Liz to take him to a place that might mean something to both of them. We also hear Sam talking about how she's worried, about him like getting things from Jason, which I was confused about. And she takes him to what many of us refer to as Robin's Bridge. So she takes Danny there and they have a conversation. Um, tell me your thoughts.
First of all, I'm always glad to see the J Sam baby.
Yes.
Old shipper in me. But also I like this being a story for Sam because I'm a Sam fan, so I love seeing her on screen. I love seeing her be a mom because she wanted it so badly for so long and all of that with that history. I actually liked her talking. Her and Becky have Kelly and Becky have great chemistry, whether they're fighting or being friendly. So I like them talking. It was a little weird, the writing, because they were talking like they didn't share a baby daddy.
Right.
So it was kind of, yeah. So I was just like, Jake and Danny are related. They didn't even have like a conversation where they're like, hey, maybe Jake and Danny can hang out some more or hang out with Rocco and all of that stuff, especially because Jake and Rocco see Laura as, well, I know biologically Rocco is, but as Laura as their grandmother and all of that. So they're all like, they're very interconnected. So it was weird. They were just talking like they were just like buddies or something, as opposed to like family, essentially. So that was weird. But I like them talking about like having teenage boys and going through. I know you say like, and you're right, like them talking about Jason being this dangerous dude when that happened after the brain damage, when before he was like cookie cutter. So where is this coming from with Danny? If anything, she should be like, well, he's a Cassadine and technically a Quartermain, and they have like ruthlessness to them and all that stuff. But the danger stuff, I guess, with Cassadine. But whatever.
Like, baby girl, that's you.
Right. But I did like that they like went to the bridge, Robin's Bridge, and talked. And he got his feelings out, and I thought it was he mentioned that Wyatt kid. And I was like, okay. And him missing his dad and giving you real anvils that, Steve Burton's coming back, Jason is coming back, because they really did not talk about Jason before this.
No.
But them having, conversation. I was also hoping to bring back the Jake and Rocco thing that Sam was going to mention, like, well, maybe sometimes you could talk to Jake because, he lost his dad too, and you guys can talk about that. Or you could talk to Rocco because Rocco's mom has been in like a years long coma and he doesn't have his mom either. So you have that in common.
Don't bring her up because I don't want her back.
I don't want her back either. But that's something that they can have in common, essentially, like they're without one of their parents. But I thought it was like a nice talk and a nice way to highlight a connection that Sam's character has, because for the past few years, I mean, you have her talking and being a listening ear to her sisters and to Dante with his drama whenever his family, which we'll talk about later, the drama his family has and everything, and being a listening ear to Carly. But, it's nice for her to have like Elizabeth listening to her, having an issue, it being about family, but not necessarily like her sisters or something. It's about her child and everything. So I like the scenes. They were very good.
Yeah. I agree with you about the Jason thing. I think it's very weird and heavy-handed. It's like, y'all, we watched the show. We know that Jason was not this person pre-brain damage. Let's get that writing together. I also he was like, I feel bad about Wyatt's dad coming back and blah blah. I just it was so weird that it wasn't about Jake. Just like go talk to your brother who y'all lost to dad. And we see that like Jake and Danny have a relationship from the Halloween trick or treat. It was like Jake, Danny, Georgie, and Charlotte. So let's see a little bit of that. I'm hoping that when Steve comes back, we do get him with his sons and them together. I would really love that. And then that might be it. I love Sam having a scene. I love her having some point of view. Oh, when she told him that Dante loved him, you know, I'm a daddy Dante truther. Shout out to Dante being Dex's daddy. I talk about it every week. And now he's not the stepdad. He's the dad that stepped up. Shout out to him for stepping up for Danny.
Yes, shout out. And shout out to our friend Susie, Daddy Dante forever.
Daddy Dante forever. Forever. Well, since we're talking about Jason, let me get into my bag about what I'm happy about, which is Spixie Rising. Because you can't think about early Spixie without thinking about Maxie getting on Jason's nerves at the penthouse. So this week we had Spinelli talking to Felicia. He doesn't want to move out. We have Sodi, Sasha, and Cody playing matchmaker. A little karaoke, which is like very old school Spixie. They share a kiss, and very, very Maxie like after the kiss, she runs away. My Spixie heart was full. I loved it so much. Bradford and Kirsten still have it. The sweetness that of their relationship still 100% there. Both of the actors want it. Give it to us. I loved her running away. It was just like, yep, that's Maxie. Like running away from her feelings for Spinelli. The way she looked at him when he was singing to her. Now, I don't like a lot of singing on GH, but Bradford is excused because he could actually sing. He's like a musical theater person. Um, so the way she was looking at him, the way that Sasha and Cody were like, the Kim is the Kim. Like they were like looking, they were like, we should leave because this is happening. They are just such a comfort couple for me. I feel like I grew up with them. Like I grew up with Spixie, and now we're all grown. And so now they're like coming back together so we can see what an adult Spixie looks like. Um, I love Bradford did an interview, and he was like talking about their kids, and I've heard Spinelli on the show say like our kids. Even though the only biological one of Max's kids that is his is Georgie, he's taken on this father role, and they've built this like Spixie family. So I am thrilled. I can't wait to see what happens next. I hope that we have them on more often than not. And I'm excited to see what happens next for both of them as characters and them as a couple.
They were very cute. I will admit that because I'm not a Spinelli fan. He used to get on my nerves a lot. But they have calmed him down. So I liked Spixie. I thought that their scene was very sweet. Their kiss was great. I loved it. And I loved her running away. Very soapy. I thought it was like, obviously it's not kismet, it's the writing, but I love that they had like karaoke now all of a sudden at Charlie's. I was like, it's meant to be. I liked, I know you're not a Sodi fan, but I'm a Sodi fan. So I like, see, we have differences. But I like them working together to put Spixie together, like fixing them up, getting them to go to essentially 2 double dates now. Because first with the axe throwing and now with this karaoke stuff. Bradford does have a beautiful voice. Because I watched the episodes again in preparation, and I actually listened to both songs because when we watch the show together on Discord, FY everybody, people ask for the music to be turned down. They
Mute
don't
that.
like hearing songs. But I listened to it and it was very beautiful, and they tugged at my heart. So I'm here for Spixie Rising. I'm here for Spixie 2.0. So I think it's cute. They have a cute little family, and I hope they get together by the time Brooklyn and Chase's wedding comes through. That could be her +1.
There you go. Let's talk about Chalynn's wedding. You're here. You're a Chalynn fan. It was all about RSVPs this week. I'm gonna let you take it away. Tell me about how you feel about Chalynn. I always say it wrong. I say Chalynn, you say Chalynn.
Yes, Chalynn. It's all love. I love them.
I know you do.
I've been on board for so long, everybody. I went through a lot. I went through the storm, especially when Chase was being a douche. So I am feeling good about this wedding. My only issue is that it's become the Gregory show. Gregory Chase is on a lot. For the past few months, I feel like he's been on every day. He's on some Sonny Corinthos level of
right
on screen. But I love that they're getting married. I love they got the invitations. I'm like Lois, I'm all excited. I'm like Tracy, I want and Brooklyn and Chase when they were like, no Coney Island. We want a Quartermain wedding. I was like, yes, give it to me. Give me a nice rich wedding. I don't know if is it gonna be in the Metro Court? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Is
I know
Maxie
that they're
gonna
trying to
decorate the Q mansion again?
She's gonna put some chairs and some flowers. That's Maxie's contribution. Maybe. But I know they're doing some Coney Island thing like the night before the wedding. So I don't know if it's gonna be Coney Island, Malibu Coney Island, like they did Malibu, Florida. So I don't know if it's gonna be Malibu, New York.
Yeah.
But whatever. But I am excited. I can't wait to see, I think on Wednesday, spoiler, but not spoiler, they said they're looking at wedding dresses. I'm excited about that, Tracy. Oh my gosh.
Cute. Yeah, I am excited about that. Yeah.
So that's gonna be cute. I just want Brooklyn to have a nice wedding. Of course, traditionally, she has to be blackmailed during her times of because of Lucy. She has to be blackmailed through important times of her life. So here we go. But otherwise, it's been great. Again, the Gregory of it all is a little annoying. Violet insisting she sings is annoying. But I will get through it. I do it's showcasing Tracy in terms of being somebody who wants her granddaughter to have this beautiful wedding. This stuff with Gregory, I don't care for Gregory, but I like his bringing dimensions to Tracy's character in terms of scenes. I like the little jokes and ribbing that they put on Brooklyn or Chase, especially from Finn. I'm not a big Finn fan, but I do like Finn and Chase's dynamic, which is older brother, ribbing his younger brother. It's very cute. So I'm excited. I'm having a good time. I just need there to not be any connection with the mob story, because I know how GH loves to do a wedding sometimes, and they love to, I don't know if that's just Guza era, but they love to make a wedding a hot mess with mob crap when there's a mob thing going on in the forefront. So please no. Please God no.
Let's not. I just have two other things about it. When they were when Vin was Violet can't be a Cody, this is not about Violet. I do not care. This is also the selfish me with no kids. I have lots of nieces and nephews who I love and adore and would do anything in the world for. But like that childless part of me just really kicked in. Like, what you mean your baby can't come to Coley Island? Stay home then. Like I was really control her, don't give her no candy then. Like I was just like I was furious for 1 second for no reason. Like, please don't do this. Um, and then the fork moment with Gregory and Tracy when he dropped his fork and Tracy noticed, and then she passed him another fork. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do of this ALS story just because somebody I love recently passed from ALS, and I just remember when like he couldn't use his fork anymore and all of that. But it was like so true to life that it was like kind of took. So I don't know if people who don't know anyone or have not experienced the disease in the same way had that moment mean so much or like kind of made them gasp as much as it did for me. But for me, it was like a really big like it was a small moment, but it was a big moment for me.
Yeah.
Let's get into the surrogacy story. So somehow Christina's already in her second trimester.
Week 14.
Like, what? When did this happen? Anyway, so she's already in her second trimester. Um, she is getting a ultrasound, and they ask if they want another sex. Obviously, Molly and TJ are there, and Christina automatically goes, "Yeah," and they're like are very weird about it, and they're like, "No, no, 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 we don't want to know." They seem like the type who don't want to know as a couple. And then yeah, it was like a weird moment, and now Christina is feeling away. I was like, of course, we see this coming, and I'm not interested, but I don't know. That's really the only feedback. TJ got on my nerve a little bit. I'm like, when I can't talk. I think that like because it's so clearly like her body, TJ's like annoyance at Christina and then be like, it's just Christina being Christina. This girl is giving her like body to y'all for 9 months. And y'all still talking shit. Maybe if I liked Tali more, I would care less, but I was just like, let's move on. I don't care about the story. How do you feel about the surrogacy of it all?
I first of all, the week 14 thing killed my soul. I was like, what? Didn't they find out she was pregnant like 3 weeks ago? How she? What? So okay, sure. Poor Charles time. All right, sure. So that was number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I didn't think it was that much of a big deal that she wanted to know the sex of the child. She just blurted it out. But they, especially TJ, was being very like aggressively mad at her, and it was weird. I mean, first of all, this whole situation is weird. It's Christina and TJ having a baby. Like none of this is Molly's kid. And it's like it's weird. Like Molly's her sister. They wouldn't wait to do like the regular IV. It was surrogacy. It was weird. The whole thing is weird. It's creepy. It's going to end in a custody case between Tali and Craze. Speculation. And I don't want to see it. Like, I don't want to see this. I already thought it was crazy that Tali wanted so badly to have this baby when they're just getting started with their careers and all of this stuff. But it's just like Molly is acting like every woman in the 2000s when Guza was writing the show. She's just like, I want a baby. Can I have a baby? When is this baby coming? Baby, baby, baby. If you guys weren't watching the show,
Sam post baby Lila.
Yes, but Sam, Carly, Robin, they all were like, I want a baby. Give me a baby. Put a baby in me. It was a lot. There's probably other people I'm missing too, but they were like, I want a baby.
Yeah.
Elizabeth was like that too. Oh my gosh, it was a lot. But yeah, just them being baby obsessed. TJ being like, Christina ain't worth spit most of the time, to the point where I'm just like, why did you agree to have her carry this baby? You
Right.
think so little of her. So it's just a weird storyline. And now Christina's in love with this baby.
Of course she
So
is.
I'm just like, oh God, Diane is about to represent her in this custody battle. Just watch this face.
Maybe Rick
That's
will
what's
come
gonna
back.
happen.
Maybe Rick will come back and represent Molly.
Or Alexis will somehow, oh no, Alexis, that's both of her kids. I just thought about it. No. So yeah, Rick would have to come back and be the like lawyer for Molly and TJ. Ooh, that will be fun. Then they'll bring up Christina and her professor.
Ooh.
I don't know what they could bring up with TJ and Molly, but yeah, crazy. This storyline is cringe.
It's very cringe, and it also is because we went through so many Mollys. I don't care about Tali at all. Like, I don't care. Please get it out of here. But
They don't
what
have chemistry either.
they don't.
I'm sorry.
It was very cringe. But who does have chemistry and also involved in this story? Craze, Christina and Blaze. So Blaze comforts Christina and affirms her feelings, and it's like, of course you're gonna feel this way, of course. And like Christina was like, I want you, girl. And they did it. So they had their first time together. And what I really love about it is like the stills from like the pictures are on Twitter blowing up. So like the person who originally post a lot of like sapphic content. And people were like, where is this from? Where is this from? It like kind of went viral. And it's really cool because the person who posted it like originally does watch GH. And a lot of times like folks will just have seen the pictures and not be something they actually watched. So anyway, those stills are blowing up. I like Craze. I don't have anything much more to say about it. I think they have great chemistry. I like Blaze. I particularly like Blaze now that they're not trying. It doesn't seem like they're trying to hook her up with Chase. Um, I really like Craze. That's all I got.
Yes. Blaze was originally my op because of the Chase thing. So I didn't like her. But once she got with Christina, I was like, oh, and they do have great chemistry. And I was happy to see some love in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get it a lot on the show. So it was great to see that, and it was great to see a lesbian couple, or I think Christina still identifies as bisexual, but seeing two women get together, I think was awesome because we don't really see that kind of representation a lot on the show.
Right.
When's the last time we've seen Terry? So, I mean, they were talking like earlier with the wedding invitation. They were talking like Yuri. Yeah, they were talking like Yuri hasn't been dating Terry for like over a year. I feel like
they like
it has to be over a year.
exchanged keys, right?
Yes, they did. So that's crazy to me. We don't see Brad. Lucas went back to Seattle. So we don't see Felix except during funerals now. I mean, it's the truth. So we don't really get any of that sort of representation. So I think it was great to see them together. And from the preview that we saw at the end of the episode on Friday, we get more of them. So I think they're cute.
I think they're cute. I like them. I like that they make homophobes mad, so I don't have to pretend to like them. I actually do like them. It's a good day. It's a good time for me.
Love it.
Valentine buys the Invader and gives it to Nina. Valentine comes to see Alexis and tells her that he bought the Invader from Sean Butler, and Nina is the new editor for the publication. I hated it. I have always hated Valentina. Um, I was really upset that I remember watching why Sean got this newspaper. And it was because the whole town of white people were quiet about him not shooting Hayden when it was actually Nicholas hiring someone to do it. And so when he got out, um, in a twist of fate that was about a white judge over sentencing people of color, and Alexis also got out because of it. That makes sense. Um, he basically like got reparations out of Nicholas, and now another Cassadine has bought his reparations paper and given it to an heiress to turn into a gossip column. After we have been convinced that it was good that Alexis was there instead of being a lawyer. I hated every piece of it. Nina looked ridiculous when she came in with those damn flowers. I hated it.
Well, as a Valentine hater, old school through now, it's my time to shine. Because I was like, I told y'all, I told you, he's no good. It's like, oh, of course he bought the Invader, and of course he made Nina the publishing editor, and of course he wants to use it to come at crew, which great. And then she wants a gossip columnist to be in there. It's giving amateur, and it's giving like high school petty. It's cringy.
I said, sis is really trying to have Lady Whistle down in the middle of the Invader. Like, get out of here. It was, ugh.
At least Penelope is like supposed to be a teenager.
That's true.
It makes sense. And not so much with Nina. It looks crazy. I was Alexis the whole time she was talking. Like Nina was talking and Valentine, I had the same facial expressions as Alexis. Like, what? And then Gregory being like, oh, I think it's a great idea. And I said, shut your mouth. This is why I don't like you.
It just isn't a good story. I guess they needed something else for Nina to do. When we get into Sona, we'll talk a little bit about, I'll get more into Nina, but I just overall didn't like it, didn't think it made sense, don't understand. It also is like, Alexis is close to Drew. Alexis has actually always loved Drew. So why would Alexis be okay with you using her paper to come at crew? And she don't really have too much use for Carly, but they're not enemies anymore.
Right.
Like Alexis is the one who like supported Joss through the revenge porn and making sure like her voice was heard and all of that. So it's like it just Nina as a character legitimately sucks every other character down with her. I know that you don't like Valentine. I loved Vanna. And I felt like Valentine had like a real redemption arc. Like bro hit rock bottom and then he got built back up and through the relationship, both friendship and romantic relationship with Anna. And then they basically snatch away all of his growth. Even with him getting mad at Robert about Charlotte, like Charlotte deserved more time. Not deserved because abolish prisons, but in the context of what was happening, like this was not a harsh sentence. And he just like turned up. Like Nina and Valentine bring out the worst in each other. It's the same entitlement they had when Nina went after Willow when she was Charlotte's teacher. So anyway, wasn't a fan, hated. We'll see what happens, but she just also looked, it was so cartoony the way they were playing it. She looked silly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She looks like a substitute teacher too. That outfit. I'm just saying. The outfit and the hair. I was like, she's coming in like she just came to this new school and she's substituting for social studies, and I'm just like, who is this person? Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the mob story. Couple top lines. Olivia Jerome, dead. Nobody cares about her being dead. Everybody's happy about it. Wishes it would have been more violent. Curtis finally tells Portia that he was working with Selena Wu. Curtis also warns Selena Wu about the mob assassin. Selena Wu is betrayed by my boo Lee. And the person assassinating mob bosses goes by the name Stone. Anna and Laura convince Cyrus to wear a wire and go to Pentonville to talk to O'Neill. If you don't remember, because he is a forgettable guy. O'Neill is the guy that Anna and Jordan tried to buy guns from. At Pentonville, Jagger, I'm not calling that man John, tries to interfere with the investigation. And despite Heather coming in with an outburst, Cyrus is able to find out about the big boss. And it's quote from Cyrus: according to O'Neill, the person you're so desperate to find does not exist because he's dead. Dun dun dun. Now I know that you're not a mob girly, so I gotta know, what the heck are you thinking about this story?
I'm thinking about Kim. This won't make sense by the end of the story. It already doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what is going on. I don't know who. First of all, okay. Aside, I'm mad about Lee being a traitor.
Same.
Beautiful man, and I feel like he can. I hope he didn't like shoot anybody, because he wouldn't have missed Sonny. Don't do that to Lee. Don't make him be like bad at his snitching or his traitor job. But besides that, I was sad about Lee. Otherwise, I keep asking people. I asked y'all in the spaces, like, I don't get this story. I don't get where it's going. I don't get, like, I got the Stone part. So I remember having the discussion, like, so is it like Stone as in Stone Cold? Like with like Jason? They said the person is a ghost or what have you. So it's like, is it Jason? Is it Morgan? Morgan's middle name is Stone.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, or is it just like going to be some random person that's like knows that Stone means something? Then you have, like, I think it was Thursday's episode where they were just like, I think Wednesday and Thursday's episode where they were like, why don't you want with Jagger, like, why don't you want us interviewing this guy or whatever? And he's like, you're going over our heads. But they're like, no, you sound suspicious. You sound like you just have a personal vendetta against Sonny, so you want to ruin this. So am I supposed to think he's crooked? Is he crooked now, like the other John Durant, when he came through? Like, I don't know, because like it's weird, because they either have the cop or the Fed that's really into like taking down Sonny, be like a crooked cop or corrupt or something, or if it's a woman, they want to bang him eventually.
Right.
Sonny. So I don't know where this is going. Like, is Jagger on the take, or is he not on the take? And Anna and Dante are mistaken. You have Anna and Dante, who I love, like cheerleading Sonny, like, oh, you have some personal vendetta and bias against Sonny. And Jagger was like, y'all have this bias for Sonny. And I'm like,
right.
yeah, you guys do. Especially you, Dante, who shouldn't even be on the case. Your father's being targeted.
Right.
But yeah, this whole thing, and then like I was happy to see Selena Wu. So it's always nice to see Selena Wu.
Always.
So it was nice. it was nice to see her flinching about and being like, maybe we shouldn't have this alliance, and I don't trust Ava, get her the F out the room. That was funny.
I'm
And
glad
then
someone does.
And then Sonny acting like him and Ava have been like close and besties for the past decade. I know, Saba Rising or what have you. I'm not happy about that, everybody. But they're making it as obvious as they're making it be that Jason is coming back. They're making it real obvious that Sonny and Ava are about to hit the sheets. It's like, if you're deaf and blind, you will know that they are getting together. Like, he trusts her. She's saying, I'm somebody you can depend on, because he can't trust Carly, Michael, and Nina. Nina the other week saying, like, could you take care of Sonny essentially for me? Watch out for him. It's a lot, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I do find it interesting. I didn't care that Olivia died, but I thought it was interesting. Like, as much as they're also talking about Jason, they are talking about Morgan a lot.
Yeah.
So that's why I put him in as like a possibility, because you had Ava talking about her, alluding to it. That's why she wanted to like get away, not just because Olivia like blew him up, but also like you switch out his meds.
Right.
You help set that emotion. And then you have Carly. I'm assuming we're going to talk about that later. Like Carly talking to Drew about the situation and how upset she was, and all of that stuff. And then Ava and Sonny commiserating about losing a child, essentially. Children who were together, who were a couple too at a time. It's a lot, and I don't know where this is going. And I hope it's something good, Liz and Pat, and it's not leading to something where I'm going to be disappointed. But I don't know if Jagger's a red herring, if he is a good guy or they made him a bad guy. I don't know where Jason or Morgan fit into this, but it is a lot. And Brother Cyrus coming in there delighted me. I love Brother Cyrus. I love him being all you, Tracy, being like, I don't trust no cops. I'm not helping him do anything. Please. That's why Anna had to bring in Laura to be like, please help my brother, and all of that stuff. So it was great. Heather showing up was also odd and wonderful. Like Allie Mills and Jeff Goldberg together. Them together, what a delight. So I had fun with that part of it, but it's a confusing mess. It's a confusing mess.
They have more, I mean, because of Heather, we have like more emotion being shown over Esme's death than Spencer's, so that's weird. I I don't know. I've had a hard time speculating about this because I keep remembering that this is like a combination of writers. Like this was being written and in development as Chris and Dan were on their way out. And then Liz and Pat had to like take it and figure out how to like run with the clues that they were already being set in motion. So it's so hard to know what is going to be the red herring versus like what is going to actually be the story. I would love to have Morgan back. I don't know if Brian Craig will come. I don't know if they will actually like recast Morgan. I don't know. But I would love to have Morgan back. Um, Obviously we know Jason's coming back. Um, I I would prefer Jason coming back and just like let's move on with the story as opposed to having to deal with like a bunch of other stuff prior to him coming back. Like the last time he came back, it took so long. I don't think you were watching at the time, but because I had stopped watching for a bit and then I came back when Steve Burton came back. And so he was like in a clinic and he was with Ava and not knowing Ava's part and like Morgan stuff. And then he finally got back and him and Sonny had the most romantic reunion ever, to be honest. Have you ever watched their reunion?
No.
I'll send you the video because basically this is like when Billy Miller, R.I.P., was still Jason, and he was like, living life as Jason, and so Steve Burton comes back and is Jason and like goes to the penthouse and sees Sam and Drew together, who wasn't Drew at the time, and is like, what's happening? And so he goes to Sonny's house, to the pent or to like the lake house or whatever, and he knows all the codes. And so him and Sonny basically like draw their guns on each other like a duel. And Jason's like, it's me. And Sonny was like, this is weird, but I know my bae anywhere. That's like
I love it.
the say some love story is real. So I'm gonna send you the video because it was just like these besties is too much. Um, so yeah, that's what I remember about the story. I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm also interested for it to be over. The other thing I'll say about the mob thing is, as a longtime viewer, the mob stuff it just feels so lackluster now. Like back in the day, if some mob shit was happening, some mob shit was happening, and you knew it, and it was everywhere. And so like Carly would have a guard, regardless of what was happening between Nina and Sonny, she would have a guard. Like when there's a threat, there's a threat, and everybody is on high alert and lockdown because of the threat. Part of the reason that Trina and Cameron got close in the first place was because there was a mob threat and Joss and at the time Dev were on lockdown. Like, so Joss and Cam built out their friendship even more because Dev and I'm sorry, Cam and Trina built out their relationship and friendship more because Joss wasn't around to be a part of like whatever they were building together. And so you saw like the real implications on people's lives around like the mob threat. And now it's just like whatever. I guess we'll like make sure Sunny's good. Even Ava coming to Carly like last week, like, oh well, Avery can't come because like it's not safe. It should be just as safe at Carly's house as it is
Yeah.
anywhere else. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. Christina's not talking about having guards follow her or anything, and she's like pregnant and Sunny's kid.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's like, oh, these are ethical hitmen. They're only gonna go after the one mob target, so don't worry about it. Okay.
I will say this, Tracy, to go with what you're talking about. The one thing I do like about this mob thing is seeing Sonny in his WAB era, his weak ass bitch era. This would not happen in 2013. This would not happen in 2014, 2004, 1994. Even though he wasn't like he was lower level.
Mm-hmm.
But now Sonny is just weak. He's just weak. He's alone. He's seeking comfort in a woman who, yes, is a mother's child and who I adore, but also led his son to get blown up. But, whatever. Sonny is really weak, and I really appreciate that. That's the one thing I do appreciate about this story. He looks crazy weak. Just like Valentine looks like a petty loser teenager, Sonny looks like a weak petty bitch, and I love it. I love it.
You're winning.
I love when my enemies look. Yes, I love when my enemies, especially my male enemies, look crazy. That's great.
Yeah, it's also like just the idea that Sonny is out here doing the hit. Like, bro, why are you in the Pine Barrens? You are not supposed to be there. You were supposed to get a report back. You out here with my boo Lee, my boo Lee. Like, where's Lil Cut at? Where's the dude who had Dex up on the meat hook? That's who should be here, not you looking crazy. Like, it's just, I don't know. Anyway, I can't. Well, more Sunny stuff because Sunny's on every single day. Apparently, it's not a problem for anyone. Um, Sona breaks up. Diane serves Nina with divorce paper and reads her down. Valentine tells Nina not to give Sunny an easy divorce. Sunny obviously confides in Ava that he has no one to trust, and she offers herself. Um, Big Paul Rudd gif energy, like, look at us. Who would have thought? Um, and Sunny takes his ring off. I want you to know I listened to two songs. I listened to one, Usher Papers, and two, Beyonce Ring Off. Both of those songs, it was my celebration. I don't care about Sunny, I don't care about Nina, but I love the misery that's happening. Um, yeah, I loved it.
I know you did. So Sona was my containment ship because I don't care for Sunny or Nina.
Yeah.
So I'm a little sad because that leaves him opening to my girl, Ava Jerome.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting through it. I'm at acceptance now with my stages agreed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But first of all, it's very weird how disconnected Nina and Sunny are. Because usually when Sunny gets out of a relationship, most of the time there's some fireworks, even afterwards.
Right.
So like I'm thinking about the times he's broken up with Brenda and Carly specifically, but even like Kate, like people he's broken up with multiple times. So not so much that he's supposed to be like in love. So not so much like Reese Marshall or something.
Mm-hmm.
Same crazy.
R.I.P.
I guess.
Pieces.
I guess R.I.P.
Pieces, not peace.
But usually like he like they see each other a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He throws a tantrum. Brenda or Carly, it's true. He calls them a whore because they're standing next to a dude.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda and Carly get angry and say like, didn't our time mean something? And how dare you call me a whore when you're sitting next to so and so? Because of course Sonny is with another woman, despite calling the woman that he broke up with a whore.
Mm-hmm.
And just him like hitting them where they hurt. But still wanting to be with them. Like there's a dynamic that Sonny usually has with women that he breaks up with them that are supposed to mean something to him. But him and Nina have only seen each other a handful of times, and he's very like cold. And I see him in cold to Brenda and Carly, but I'm just saying like he's usually there's still some like feeling there, whereas he's just like, nah, you betrayed me.
Bye, girl.
Go away. Basically. Like the old him would have thrown the divorce papers in the woman's face. Like he would have like went to her directly. There would have been like something there, but him just being like, Diane, you do this, and Diane doing it, it's just like it's weird. And then like Nina being like, you never liked me. Okay, so here's another aside. I don't understand this. And, you know, I try to ask my Nina mutuals on Twitter or what have you. But I'll say it here. I don't understand Nina not getting the concept of people not liking her for valid reasons.
Right.
It's very weird. Why would Diane like you? Why? Give me a reason. Why would she like you when you knew that her boss that she's friends with was alive and you didn't tell her or tell anyone?
Right.
Besides her, like the family that she's close to. She's friends with Carly. She's friends with Alexis also, who also is the mother of one of his children that you didn't tell was alive. Like, why would Diane like you? why wouldn't Diane love the fact that you were getting served divorce papers? Diane also represented Milo during that trial, like, it makes sense that Diane doesn't mess with you. So
Right.
why are you just like, well, you don't like me? Well, no kidding. No kidding, she doesn't like you. Then to be like, you're just a robot. You have nothing in your personal life. Like, you don't know this woman. But see, Nina, you said that and you opened the door for Diane to drag the crap out of you, mentioning your one of your many crimes, and then mentioning you having a soft landing, which ends up being true because Valentine buys a newspaper for you, essentially. So you do get a soft landing after you just got removed from Crimson. So Diane was correct. It's just, Nina is annoying. And the Sona divorce, I don't know how it's supposed to, I guess, go along now because Valentine is now telling her, don't give him an easy divorce, which I don't even know how that's going to work because Sonny and her were only married for like 2 minutes. So they don't have any businesses together. He has nothing to do with the Metro Court. She has nothing to do with his coffee business. They don't have any kids together. So there's not like she can make it into a big custody case and, you know, sabotage the divorce that way. Where is this going? This is stupid.
The words of Maya, y'all don't share no kids and you have no mutual friends. What is going on here? Like, I feel like I get on here and I rail against Nina every week, but it's okay. Y'all can fast forward if you don't like it. Part of I think what the problem is with this story is that the way Nina is getting read now is the way she should have gotten read after Nixon Falls. And I actually think she would be a more viable character if that would have happened. But part of the bigger issue with her is the whining and like not playing the position. Because to your point was like, oh well, yeah, you never liked me. Why would she? And why is she required to like you? Who cares if people like you? Sonny, she didn't even want to serve you with the papers. Sonny was the one who told her to come specifically to serve you. You should have took them papers and shut up. But instead, you like came at her, and when she came at you harder, you acted like she didn't read you. And then all of a sudden, Valentine and Nina, like you said, some teenagers were like, Robert and Nina, Robert and Diane came for us. Robert and Diane were literally doing their jobs, and y'all are like at the bar crying like that isn't what just happened. It it was beyond silly. Um, and Nina has looked beyond silly the past few weeks. But also, I feel like, and I don't do a lot of Twitter, but sometimes I see some things. So I see like a lot of people like the writing for Nina is not fair. Well, who told you writing had to be fair? Who told you it needs to be balanced? It doesn't. And it might not be either of those things, but it's consistent. Because Michelle Stafford, I was like explaining to somebody like all the men who chose other women over Michelle's Nina. You weren't watching, but Silas chose Sam. And
I was watching.
She was salty
I was watching.
She was salty about Silas and Ava. Franco chose Elizabeth. Like Jax chose Carly, actually. Like she has consistently been second place the entire time she was married to Valentine. He was lusting after either Anna or Alex, thinking she was Anna. This person, this like character that people feel is entitled to some sort of win, was losing well before she got in Carly's orbit. The only time that she actually kind of turned around to like win something was like one when she like won around the Invader, not the Invader, Crimson, because like Julian gave it to her and she actually did well with it. And then when there was like the turnover in character, and she was when Cynthia took over, and like she was like getting even with Valentine and getting with Jax and all of that. That was like when that character was kind of on the uptick. That was the thing that was out of character and like written not like consistently for her. She has consistently been a second place loser. And so
Mhm.
I'm just like, the stuff with Carly is actually now she's about to lose to Alexis. Who is she looks crazy next to Alexis. Who is rooting for her over Alexis?
Not me.
Her and Valentine look ridiculous. And even so your ex bought this. You are now the editor, and then you're gonna go after people who were your enemies. How does that feel like somebody else might not call the question the same way you're calling the question on Drew and Carly? How do you think people wouldn't call the question on you?
Right.
I'm over it. I think I'm just over it.
Also, her saying she wants to sex up a newspaper that is has been changed around to being like more of a social justice uh, current events paper looks crazy. Also, I just want to put that out there.
Super crazy. So anyway, bye Sona. We hardly knew you. So these are two stories. The last two things that are like kind of wrapped up in one. Is Carly quits Crimson, and then all of the stuff that's going on with Deception. So Deception gets the copy of Crimson. People are celebrating, especially BLQ and Maxie. Lucy peeps the celebration and realizes y'all working together. And as you brought up before, our girl Brooklyn is getting blackmailed again. It's enough. We've had enough of the blackmail. Um, and then Carly realizes because Nina comes by and realizes that Drew has been going at Nina, um, and causing her to lose her mind even more. And is like, yo, you need to stop going at her. She's obviously crazy. Yes, I can believe everything that she's done because it's who she is. Her and Drew have words. And she said, well, you're obsessed with Oh Girl. I'm quitting being editor in chief of Crimson. I will say, here's what I'll say about Carly and what she did. I felt that deeply. You had asked this question earlier, not on the show, but like about where your Mars placement was. And I was telling you that my Mars and my Venus is in Leo. This is for the astrology girlies. In Leo. So I'm a Libra, sun and rising. But my Mars and my Venus is in Leo. And to me, that always means that I have a temper that kind of boils underneath, but the Libra in me like balances it out. Like, okay, we don't need that. And that is actually, I saw that I resonated so much with what Carly said. Like, I hate Oh Girl. I got my revenge. We've done the thing. And now I actually don't even want her in my life anymore. So let her be. I was like, stood up and applauded because that is me. We can call people out, we can do the thing we need to do. And once it's done, I don't want to deal with you anymore. I don't want a lifetime of back and forth with you. It was like so grown up of Carly. I was actually shocked. But it was like I was like, oh no, it feels like somebody wrote something I would say. Um, I'll also say that it was interesting, and I'm not mad at the exploration of Drew holding on to some like resentment. Because if you're saying that Nina was the reason you got beat up when it was really sunny, um, that Nina is the reason that you got beat up, then like, yeah, it makes sense that you'd be mad because Carly's the reason that you went to jail. You told her not to do this. You told her not to buy them shares, and she did that shit anyway. And so you were trying to protect her, and she went to jail. Now that doesn't owe you like a lifetime of like fidelity, not fidelity. but like a lifetime of somebody like living up to you what you want or doing everything that you want them to do. But I can see why he was salty, and like that's why I thought the scenes were great because they were like actually exploring something that made sense to explore.
I agree. I was also shocked that Carly was being mature. That's because you know how I feel about her. But I liked what she was saying. I got what she was saying, which is like, I'm not going to keep stooping down to Nina's quote unquote level. Every time I do, it blows up in my face and so on and so forth. But yeah, I also got Drew's perspective of like, now me personally, I'm like, you sent yourself to prison. You're the one that like decided to fall on the sword. So that's on you.
Right.
But I can see him being like, well, Nina is the reason why, and then also him like subconsciously like also blaming Carly too. So I get all of that. Now when he started doing that, like you're not the only one that has a say in this relationship and how we should go about Nina and stuff like that. I was like, pump your brakes. I don't even like this chick, but you
calm down,
pump
Drew
your
Matheson.
Right. I called him Drew Lavery, but
Drew
yeah,
Lavery.
I was like, calm down, sir. But yeah, speculation. This is giving Carly and Sonny 1999 for me with Nina and Drew. For me.
God.
We're getting what is it? Junina? I don't know what they're gonna call themselves. Trina. Is giving that. He's way too hot in the pants to go after her. She's way too into trying to get after him too, especially because she keeps saying Carly and Drew, but like Carly's just like a towel in. I'm out of this. I don't want to do any more of this crap. It's Drew constantly antagonizing her, and they keep going like a back and forth. I really feel like that's where this is going for me. And I don't know what's going to make them like get together. Probably Carly's about 2 seconds from dumping him. She's already like, I'm done with this newspaper. I'm done with this fashion magazine because you won't let go of this antagonism towards this woman. You won't let go of this anger. So I'm done with this magazine, and I'm sure enough she's gonna be done with this relationship. So I really think this is where it's going, but it is like a lot of tension. This is more realistic how Drew is acting for me than before when he was like Mr. Life Coach.
Right.
But it's also like because we had like how long he's been on the show for like almost 3 years. It's been almost 3 years of life coaching that it's not jiving that he would be this angry about this. You weren't this angry when you were locked up for years without seeing your daughter in the Cassadine Island. Or you weren't this mad just in general. Like, right. I feel like he should have been just like, he should have came out of this like when he first came on the show and be this angry. It's sort of like how you were talking about how like people dragging Nina now as opposed for when they should have with Nixon Falls. It's the same thing with Drew. Like his anger and aggression should have came out before, but now it's coming out with this when he was in prison for like, what was it, like for 3 months or something? I know he got his ass whooped. I know he got his ass whooped naked in the showers. So yeah, but I mean, like, I think he got beaten by the guards on like Victor and Peter's orders. Before.
Yes. It was not a good time.
So this whole thing is like, it makes sense, but then at the same time, because of his previous characterization, it doesn't make sense. Like Drew is written so haphazardly on this show overall that it's just like, I don't know what to make of him being this aggro.
I mean, I think it's important to remember that Drew was like a made-up character, and just Billy Miller was so talented that he made nonsense make sense. And so he just made a character of his own. And then Cameron Matheson walked in, it was like there was no continuity between these characters, like these actors. There was no continuity about their writing and about their characterization. It was just nothing. And I thought that was really bizarre. I don't know. Ugh.
Numbers 1,000 why Chris and Dan got fired.
Listen, it's just it's not good. Um, I can't imagine some hate sex between Drew and Nina, which I hate, but whatever. And my thing is I really hope that they give Crimson to Maxie. Let my girl shine. Give it to her. She already should have had it before Deception. Let her have multiple things. If Nina can have multiple things, so can my girl.
I love it.
Um, that's all we got for story. I have one hot take. What do you got?
I don't really have a hot take except free. I mean, we kind of touched on it. Free Brooklyn from blackmail. I'm tired of this. Like every season, my girl gets blackmailed. And I'm just like, no, you should have just let her, you should have just let Lucy say whatever she says to Tracy and just deny, and be like, you know, Tracy's a hating ass broad. Like, she hates you, grandmother. Like, don't listen to her. I'm not trying to do anything. Like, but no, let's have Lucy have at it. Like, boo, I'm anti Lucy right now. Now, normally I love Lucy, but no, like I don't want her having something over Brooklyn. And I don't want it to end up blowing up at the Chalynn wedding. Please, please no.
Yeah. Actually, like my whole thing, my kind of hot take was thinking about why Lucy versus Tracy works and Carly versus Nina doesn't. Um, because I think that part of what makes, and I was talking about this a little bit with you, but part of what makes Lucy and Tracy work is that nobody has like some kind of moral high road. It's not trying to be
Right.
forced that one of these characters is right or one of them is wrong, or there's a gray area, or you got to pick sides based on who's right or wrong. It's just you pick sides based on who you like, or you don't pick sides at all, and you just enjoy the ride. And so it's kind of like a very fun rivalry. And you go back and forth. Like, you know, you see Lucy like losing Martin and you see Tracy feeling bad, and then you see them, you know, it's just like it's way more fun and less involved. Whereas to Carly and Nina, what they've done, even for me as a Carly fan, I'm like, I actually don't need you to tell me Carly was okay with this. You know, like even when she kept Willow's parentage from her, they were like, well, she did it because Willow said this, and because I'm fine with you saying that one, Carly was wrong. She should have told me. She should have told Willow. Period. I've always said that, and that she didn't tell Nina because she don't fuck with Nina.
Right.
I actually don't need. It's like there's like this back and forth of like who has this moral high ground, who's right, who's wrong, who's this, who's that, and it's like actually both of y'all are wrong, and in a lot of ways Carly's not. In a lot of ways, like a lot of Nina's vendetta with Carly doesn't make sense. What else do you want? You got that girl's husband, you got her hotel. What else did you want? Nina, not Nina, but Lucy and Tracy don't really like so much fallout doesn't involve like young kids. And so when you gave like these characters kids, so like Nina calls the SEC on Carly, if this was like whatever, and they didn't have all these kids involved. Nina, you claim to love Donna, Avery, whoever, and then you was gonna lock their mama up? Like Nixon Falls was what it was. It wasn't about Carly, it was about you keeping him away from all of his kids. So they create this scenario where it's like this is like these people versus each other when the fallout like extends so much further than that. Even the thing with deception, Maxie, we're seeing Maxie's fallout from this. And we're seeing Brooklyn try to make that fallout right. And so just like the like constantly trying to like play moral police with these characters and force the audience to see like everybody has a side instead of just like everybody's messy, has really, I think, tanked the idea of like these rivalries.
Yeah. Also, to answer your question, I think Nina wanted absolute acceptance, and she wanted, whether she wants to admit it or not, I think she wanted Carly to accept her and like be friendly towards her.
Yeah.
She was just like, guess I took your hotel and your husband, but I need you to be like, it's okay, girl. Let's be friends. Let's compete.
Yeah, yeah. Even when she was like, Dante like tolerated me, but Christina liked me, like people don't have to like you, girl.
Nah, she's like, no, I need you to like me.
I need
she wants
everybody
to like her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that is what I got for the week. You ready to talk about the previews for next week?
Yes, I am.
All right. Monday. Sonny has a job for Spinelli. Blaze's mother, Natalia, who is played by Eva LaRue, surprises her with an early visit. Nina seeks Ava's help. Carly is wary of Jagger. Curtis encourages Drew. Tuesday, Nina tries to defend her actions to Sonny. Drew opens up to Carly. Blaze has a defining moment with her mother. Maxie and Spinelli get closer. Wednesday, you alluded to this. Tracy, Lois, and Maxie help Brooklyn find a wedding dress. Chase needs to clear something up. Carly tells Sonny about her run-in. Joss tries to find Dex. Jagger runs into Scott. Thursday, Dante tries to play peacemaker. Sonny confronts Jagger. Brooklyn reassures Chase. Lois has it out with Tracy. Finn and Elizabeth discuss their future. Maybe it's going to be a fizzle wedding. I don't know. Friday, Felicia makes a confession. Dante discovers a connection. Anna and Jagger hash out their differences. Sonny and Spinelli loop Ava into their plan. Blaze and Christina make a revelation. So lots of Sonny next week. But a good amount of Blaze and Christina, and a lot of Jagger.
Canadian Jagger.
You said what?
Canadian Jagger.
Canadian Jagger. And then, but also a lot of Chalynn. So we shall see what happens.
I love it. Not the Sonny part, but the other part.
I know. Not really any Black Hospital next week. I don't like that.
Yeah.
They said it's the last week of Black History Month. No Black people for you.
They already took Sean's paper away for Black History Month also. Come on, GA. What's that?
Get your shit together. Liz and Pat, we're looking at you. We're hoping. Come in strong. We're rooting for you. All right. Thank y'all for listening and watching. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, share, and leave us messages in the comments. Always love to hear what you think. And we will be back next week. Special thank you to Britt for filling in as our guest host. And y'all have a good rest of your week. Peace out.
Bye.